All right, y'all. Happy Tuesday. We got our first trade of the week. Man, honestly, today I was really just looking at NAS and US 30. I wanted the EMAs to align on US 30 because if we zoom out here, you can tell that it's clearly uptrending, but as the day went by, it just started going down. So I was like, all right, whatever. And then on NAS, we actually were able to get a setup right here. We had a 1 hour zone that was tapped, but it was still valid. And then boom, right here we had a huge candle at 940 that closed above the 13, and dang, 342 point stop loss. I'm not gonna lie, I was like, damn, okay, like it's too much risk. Okay, it was like 1700 risk. Even though I would take that on silver, I'm not taking that on NAS because I could trade the mini NAS deck. But I'm still gonna go for a 1-to-1 because I always trade based on the main chart. So I'm not trading based on the micro. So if I could risk my regular amount on the micros, I'm gonna just do a little more. And then make it to the point where I risked around like 1200 because at that point we're just going for the 1-to-1. And that's exactly what we did. This trade was pretty it was just a trade, I don't know. But we had to wait a minute for it to hit TP, but eventually it ended up winning. Overall, a solid trade. If we zoom out on it, what I looked at before the day started was just to see if we were trending or not, right? And I see we're clearly on an uptrend. So after realizing that we are clearly on an uptrend, I have to wait for my edge to actually play out. And I'm getting up around 7 o'clock, 7:10, but I'm getting on the charts around like 7:20. So right now I see that the EMAs aren't aligned, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take this setup if the EMA. I'm gonna take a setup if the EMAs align. I'm gonna take a setup if it, of course, touches the 50, closes above the 15, or we get like a 3 candle trade. And I looked at the 1 hour as well to see if we had any zones. And I looked at the 15 minute to see if we had any zones. And we only had a zone on the 1 hour. We also had a zone right here on the 5 minute, but it ended up getting invalidated. So the 1 hour was the only valid zone. And as you can see, it held up pretty well. Even from earlier, it held up pretty well. It went up even more for like a 2-to-1, but we just got our 1-to-1 on this one because of our risk factor. And yeah, we just move on, bro. So overall, good day. Main three things I look at to see if it's trending or not. And then boom, I'm waiting to see if the EMAs are going to align. And then I'm waiting to see if my main edge shows up, which is either 3 candles below the 13, and then it closes above the 13, at least 3 candles that close below, of course, for buys, or for it to hit a demand zone and then close above the 13. So that's all I'm really looking for after I see that we're clearly trending and we don't have any like major points that need to be broken. In this case, we didn't. Like, we were pretty high up. So this was a great trade. Textbook. We're just going to keep on taking textbook setups because I'm realizing that this is what's going to get us to the promised land. So I will catch you guys on Wednesday if I do end up taking a trade. The rest of the week, I didn't get any setups, but we actually did have something on Wednesday, but I didn't take it because it was Eid and I went to the Eid prayer. So Eid Mubarak to all my Muslims out there, man. Let's get into those because besides what was, I think I took it on Monday or Tuesday. That's it for the week, bro. Okay, so this was the NAS trade on Wednesday, which was clearly going up if we zoom out. And boom, you have 3 candles that close below the 13. So at this point, I'm just waiting for one to close above the 13 for a buy. And I actually wasn't waiting in this case. I wasn't looking at the charts, but this was a big trade right here. 287 point stop loss. Sheesh. So just go for 1-to-1 here. And in this case, yeah, you just go for the 1-to-1 because my risk here would have been like 1400, and I can't go for a 1 to 1.5 with that type of risk. So honestly, with these type of trades, I'm gonna think about like if I should, like if I take them or no, when I take them because it goes with my plan. When I take them, like should I go on the mini and just trade a little bit less? I mean the micro, or should I stay on the mini? This is the mini chart. So this ended up not hitting. It was close, but it lost. So this lost at 905, and then gold actually had a setup. Oh, so this, okay, this is interesting because now that I'm looking back at it, this trade lost at 905, and gold had a setup at 855. So I couldn't even enter this when it actually happened. Like, it would have already won. So that would have sucked. That just would have been a big loss. You know, good thing I went to the prayer, bro. Like, I mean, of course I was gonna go, but it's like, sheesh, we just missed out on a loss. I mean, it's just data, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, wow. So this would have been a loss on the day, and then we saw gold take its dub down here. Same thing, a 3-candle trade, at least 3 candles closed above the 13. And since we're taking sells here, since we're clearly going down, we have to wait for the break of candle as soon as it closes below, and then boom, it did what it had to do. And then Friday, which was today, I wanted to show you guys because I already said that I wasn't going to take no Friday trades past 1020. So this setup actually occurred on Friday, which was today. We had this setup, what was this? Sorry. Big old stop loss, going for 1-to-1. As you can see, it never hits up there. Market closed now. So this would have been like, dang near would have been a break-even trade, low-key. But that's just more data to collect, to be honest. Like, I already knew I wasn't going to take this. I stopped looking at the charts at that point, bro. You know what I mean? So this week was just one trade. This month was pretty good. Shout out to May. We learned a lot. But that's really it for the week, y'all. Next week, we're just going to do the same thing over and over again. And eventually, whatever comes with that, that's what will happen. So I will catch you guys in the next recap. Appreciate y'all watching these, and